Good afternoon, everyone, and welcome to Nutmeg Sports right here on the HAN Network. AJ Simonowski is controlling the controls. We're nutmegging away. That's Donald Eng. I'm Rob Adams. Happy Monday to you, one and all. Don, how are you?
Doing well, Rob. How are you?
I'm well. I mean,
Big sports weekend, lots of stuff to talk about.
Exactly, and we're back here in the Shelton studio. Been a while, but back in the home office at least for a little bit.
Friendly confines.
Indeed it is. All right, let's jump into things, and we start, really, there are a bunch of places we could start. I mean, the whole week of championships that we covered, and again, congratulations to all the teams throughout the region. You know, you saw Ridgefield win a girls' soccer championship, and Ludlow win the boys' soccer championship, and then Darien win the field hockey championship. Then you had football Friday, and then just a great volleyball championship on Saturday that I'm still pretty stunned by, and I think that's where I'm going to start.
Right, because sometimes you kind of see the upset coming. In this case, I don't think anybody saw it coming. Ludlow with a big win over Darien to take the FCAC girls volleyball championships. I was shocked. Just a great job by the Falcons.
Yeah, in prepping for the championship, I saw how many times Darien had won, and it goes all the way back years into the early 90s. They have won almost every championship, with a few exceptions here and there. The whole Fairfield, before it got split back up into Ludlow and Ward, they won, I believe, in 2000. There was a split year with Darien and Ludlow a few years ago, thanks to Superstorm Sandy. You know, you'd find a little break here and there where Darien didn't win, but the fact was this: 20 times Darien played for the FCAC championship, 20 times they had won the FCAC championship. Oh, wait until Saturday.
Right, yeah. I mean, as I mentioned before, it's just an upset that no one saw coming. When Darien gets to the championships, they always win. And then, you know, what's the expression? That's why you play the games. Ludlow with the match of their lives, and come away with the FCAC crown. Now, it's going to be interesting to note because the state volleyball seedings have come out. Ludlow, the 9 seed, Darien, the 1 seed, which puts those two schools on a collision course on that upper half of the bracket there for the if you do get in that 1-8-9 games, so in the quarters. So those two will probably meet again.
You would imagine they would, but boy, what a great job. And I know if he's not expecting it, AJ is sitting over at the controls going, I sense a John Sterling. Well, you can't explain volleyball, Susan, so you just can't, though. I mean, Matt Norwald, the Ward coach, and I had the call along with Eric Gendron on Saturday, and I'll tell you now, off the air, I said to Matt, and Matt and I, take my word for it, Matt and I had basically never met before Saturday, which was rare that you work with a broadcast partner seconds after you meet him, but he and I are kind of off the air chatting, and I say to him, off the record, is this a coronation? Because I really thought Darien, that's all I've heard for months. We just want to beat Darien. We want to beat Darien. The thinking was nobody was going to beat Darien. And yes, they were without a big cog in Izzy Taylor. That was a big loss for them, who Darien lost against Greenwich back on Thursday night. But they did good things, and they kept things under control, and they had the most valuable player, Alice Nelson, with her 25 digs, 2 aces, and 10 service points. But I also thought Kylie McCaffrey was a huge player in this game. 17 kills, 15 digs, and 9 service points, as well as Abby Constantino with her 13 kills, 4 blocks, and 13 service points. This was a good team, and they somehow, every time Darien came back, Ludlow had an answer.
Right, and I kind of thought Ludlow had won the first 2 games. Darien took game 3, and then in game 4, which turned out to be the deciding game, Darien had jumped out to about a 4-point lead, and I kind of thought to myself, okay, well now maybe Darien starts to Darien evens the match here. If they pull it up, if they tie it up at 2-2, then I kind of thought, okay, then you had to like Darien going into the 5th game, but then Ludlow just kind of got it together. In football terms, they made the big stop, and then it took the momentum back. and carried it to victory.
I was more surprised as I watched that fourth game go along.
Right, I was surprised too, because normally when the favorite, normally the underdog jumps out to a lead, and once the favorite catches them and then goes ahead, the underdog doesn't usually come back again, and then they did, and that was just a lot of fun to watch.
Yeah, sure was. Meg Skelton and her team played so well, so congratulations to them. It was a well-earned championship for the Falcons. Yeah, they played on their home court. Sure, they had a bit of a home crowd advantage. All those things will work to your advantage, but great teams, greatness overcomes things like that. So I don't necessarily feel that the crowd had a lot to do with it.
No, I mean, because a volleyball championship game is always going to have a great atmosphere. It's always going to be loud, and especially in a smaller gym with people yelling. It's going to be noisy. That's just the way it's going to be, and it's noisy for both teams. I don't think the crowd really played a factor. Like I said, looking forward to a potential rematch in the States.
Yep, the scores to be exact, 27-25 in Game 1 as, again, Ludlow was able to keep it together and get the final points to get that first game win, first set. I kept saying game set, please bear with me. 25-21 for Darien in Game 2, set 2. Third set, 25-19 for the Falcons, and then the Falcons closed them out 25-20 after being down 6 at one point. So congratulations to the Falcons. Really fun to watch. Win or lose, didn't care who won or lost, but I love good drama. That was good drama.
It really was. As you said, it's fun to watch. It was just, the athletes really it's everything you want to see. It's highly skilled, highly talented athletes just playing, leaving it all out on the court.
And on a personal note, congrats to everybody on our crew, because we had never, broadcast volleyball at all. I'll be honest, I had never been to a high school volleyball match before Saturday, to be perfectly honest with you. And so just a great job by Eric and AJ and Michael and JB and John Kovach, and Kate was there, and Marty and Josh, and if I'm missing anyone, somebody will remind me. But and of course Matt, who sat alongside me for the call, and Don, who was watching somewhere and taking notes furiously.
Yes, the Dick Cheney undisclosed location.
So yeah, it all went well there, and yes, thank you, AJ, the soon-to-be new news anchor, Sean Robert Adams, so he was there as well. Anyway, the HAN Network mascot, as he is lovingly called. Let us turn our attention over to football, and football to me is a little bit of a bigger deal from this weekend, not compared to volleyball, but in what we saw in football this weekend, on Friday night to be exact. What am I talking about? If AJ's got it all queued up, Friday night out at New Canaan's Dunning Field, we saw history, and it looked quite like this. 2nd and 10, Collins to throw, swings it right, wide open down the near sideline, goes Matt Cognetta, good night, touchdown! Now from under center, stacked in the backfield. Little play fake, throwing it wide open, touchdown. 21-7, they lead with 4:09 to go in the first quarter. Shotgun snap, 3 receivers near side right, swing it into the flat, it's complete. Around the near side, down the right sideline, Andrew Johns breaks a tackle. 20, 15, 10, it's a race with Swindell doing swimming motions behind him. It's a touchdown. Shotgun snap, play action, looking to throw, wide open, oh my gosh, eat a sandwich, catch a touchdown. Ryan O'Connell from 18. Collins takes, sets, looks, steps up, now he can run with it, still running, he can throw, he has a man wide open. Kyle Smith to the 10, breaks a tackle, falls into the end zone, touchdown. 2 receivers out to each side. Matt Cognetta, the protector in the backfield, with play action for Collins. Steps up, deep ball wobbling, Swindell at the 20, breaks a tackle, high steps it into the end zone, touchdown New Canaan from 56 yards. 26-21, here looking to throw. Collins over the middle, caught! Mike Cognetta, touchdown. Shotgun snap on first down. Collins to throw, looking for 8, got it, touchdown! It's a school record for Mike Collins, his 8th touchdown pass of the night. Back to throw, Collins sets up, here it is, he's got it! Are you kidding me? So Michael Collins of New Canaan with 9 touchdown passes, yes, 9, ties the state record. 69-26 was the final score. I was thinking about it. In all the games I've broadcast over a long time, I've never seen, that's the most points I've ever seen in a game, in fact, never gone over the 70 mark, almost did. Collins did come out in the fourth quarter and try two long passes to try to get the state record. Don, I know we talk a lot about score management. Lou Marinelli, the New Canaan coach, was at the very foundation of score management. And to be honest with you, and I said it on the air, I encouraged Collins to go for the 10th touchdown. I guess I like greatness and I like seeing records. I was all in favor of seeing Collins go after a state record Friday night.
Yeah, I mean, up 40 in the fourth quarter, throwing passes into the end zone with the starters in the game. I can't say I'm a big fan of that myself. I mean, I like seeing greatness in a competitive environment. At that point, the game was no longer really competitive, though, and I thought. But I mean, undeniable. The kid has talent and skill, and he is a joy to watch. I wouldn't have had him in the game throwing into the end zone up 9 touchdowns.
And that's the other thing about Collins. You said something about good kids and things like that. I've talked to him a couple of times. We had him on the air after the game Friday night. He talked with our Chris Kalin. Very humble, nice, down, and you root for kids like that to do good things. He comes off very well in his approach. So I had no problem with him going out there, going for the state record. It put some life back into what was left of the crowd. It put some life back into me, to be honest with you, and Chris Irway as well. It was something to watch. And keep in mind, and we didn't have it in our highlight package, but the 2 passes he threw were not 2 star receivers. It wasn't Swindell or O'Connor or one of these other kids. These were kids who hadn't been in the game early on. He was throwing to non-starters, and he just missed, I believe it was the second pass. He just missed it. I'll say I was all for it. I noticed we had a comment on our Facebook page at HAN Network on Facebook from John Cini, who's from Darien, and I can't help but wonder if that's a little home cook in a Darien New Canaan Turkey Bowl comment about celebrating, running up the score. I'm celebrating personally what I saw. I'm celebrating 9 touchdown passes. That's, getting Collins' attention from the likes of Fox Sports today. I like greatness. And what I saw was greatness and a record, and I think you got to watch your home cooking sometimes.
Well, you do, and especially from a Darien fan. But the thing you have to remember about Darien is that Turkey Bowl is in a couple of weeks, and if he and if he sprains his ankle. And if he sprains his ankle because he's in the game with 5 minutes to go, up 40 points, the first question is going to be, what was he doing in the game?
And that's all a worthwhile discussion to have. It's a worthwhile thing that you're going to talk about. But, again, you got to... If it was Timmy Graham throwing 10 touchdown passes, I don't think John Cini's making that comment on Facebook.
Probably not, but that doesn't necessarily mean it's not a valid viewpoint.
I'm not saying it's not a valid viewpoint, but I do think, you got to pay attention that,
there may be an ulterior motive in play.
Absolutely. 50 points is the magic number. Lou Marinelli was at the forefront of that 50-point rule. If New Canaan scores, that puts them at 49. Now, that's where it gets interesting.
Right.
Because the extra point, you're not going to have Peter Swindell kick that point. Is he going to take a knee? Is he going to just throw a little fade route out of bounds on a 2-point try that falls incomplete? Where does it go?
If he makes the extra point, on the ensuing kickoff, do all 11 of your guys inexplicably miss tackles?
And that's the other thing. Think about the guy on the other side of the field, Bob Maffei, who has been the coach at Trumbull for a long time, taking over for Jerry McDougal. Bob Maffei is a pro. Does Bob Maffei have a problem with it? Now, I haven't read any quotes otherwise. The people who have had problem with it have been parents, fans, media types, those who hate the FCX. Sean Patrick Boley, I like you, Sean. But, and I'm kidding. But, we're the ones who have been talking about it. I haven't read too much from Bob Maffei. So that's where I'm wondering. Does Coach Maffei look at it and go, kid had a chance for a record, I don't have a problem with it? Or does he have a problem with it? I don't know.
Well, and also, to think about it, in sort of a kind of an esoteric way of looking at it, the kid had a chance for a record, in part because of Coach Maffei's Eagles. Now, normally when you have a score management game come into play, it's 48-0 or 55-10. In this case, because the Eagles scored a respectable number of points, that sort of allowed for New Canaan to keep scoring. Had Trumbull scored 14 points, then there's no way that there's no way we're having these conversations. Had Trumbull scored only on that opening drive and then not scored again, we don't have this conversation because New Canaan would have been taking a knee at up 55-7, and then you don't get into the situation where he's throwing his 10th touchdown pass or trying to. So that's sort of indirectly related to coaching and just the way the game goes. Normally, you don't see the losing team put up 30 points in a score management game.
Yeah, and I've seen it. I've seen the dark side of that score management stuff as well. I've seen Greenwich part the sea to let a Danbury runner go back for a touchdown to get away from the 50-point rule. I've seen even before the 50-point rule where Greenwich was taking a knee in the third quarter.
Right.
You don't want to see that happen.
You don't, and there's only so much a coach can do. You put your you put your JVs in the game. You put your JVs in the game. You can't tell them not to play. It might be the only varsity chance they ever get. You can't have them not play. I mean, I think in my opinion, you should probably just go with the Pop Warner rules. Just run the clock in the second half and let everyone get out of here.
Yeah, well, either way, he got to 9, so congratulations to Michael Collins, and well done by him. From the scoreboard from the weekend, we'll run through these quickly before we get ready to take a break. We got a few more things to bat around in this edition of the program. From the FCAC, it was Fairfield-Ludlow. Down big early, and the Falcons rallying to get a victory, knocking off Bridgeport Central 21-20. Took a 2-point conversion late to do the job.
Yeah, and that was a gutty call too. They were down 2 touchdowns really before you could blink, and particularly they haven't had the season they thought they were going to have, and to be down early to Central, they could have just kind of figured it's not our week. They showed a lot of guts, a lot of toughness. I was very impressed with the effort Ludlow put forth.
Luke Beanstalk had a big day. Greenwich beat Norwalk 33-28. It was Danbury by 6 over McMahon 33-27. Nice win for the Hatters. They get their first victory of the year. Trinity Catholic stays alive in various ways and forms. They beat Stamford 36-0. Moving down to the SEC, Brantford over Guilford 13-7. Fairfield Prep by 30 over Wilbur Cross 50-20. Sheehan 33 lost 6. Hillhouse 54-27. Notre Dame of West Haven 47. Amity nothing. North Haven 48, Lyman Hall 7. How about Shelton? They had the battle with Daniel Hand 17-13. The Gales get the win. West Haven over Hamden 43-6. Xavier 42, Cheshire 9. But the Gales in a battle with the Daniel Hand Tigers.
Right, Hand with a bit of a down year, and of course for Hand that means 7-3. But Hand a bit down this year. Shelton battling injuries. They're one of 2 teams to clinch a state playoff berth in Class Double-L. The other being Southington. It'll be interesting to see how they fare against the likes of Darien, presumably, because Shelton has been a dominant team most of the year. But they are battling injuries. We'll see what happens.
From the SWC, winners, Bunnell, Newtown, New Fairfield over Notre Dame of Fairfield. Weston beat Bethel. Barlow with a victory over Stratford, and Brookfield over Massac as well. Moving down to Saturday's scores, Ridgefield blasted West Hill 45-7. Darien was up, I believe, 49-0 at halftime. They won 56-19 over Fairfield Ward. And Staples knocks off St. Joseph 28-20. For one thing, the Cadets have to win out to make it into the state playoffs, but for the other thing, sets us up for this Saturday. And there's been a time adjustment for Saturday at Darien High School. The Wreckers and the Blue Wave play Saturday now, not at 1:30, but at 1, meaning FCAC tailgate at 10, FCAC game day at 11 o'clock Saturday morning. That will be over at Darien High School.
Right, let's not sleep on Ridgefield. We saw Ridgefield against Trinity Catholic, and essentially, it's weird how it comes full circle. I gave Staples up for dead after losing to Ridgefield, and I gave Ridgefield up for dead after losing to Trinity Catholic. Both those schools now still with a chance to win out and make the state playoffs.
Absolutely true. So that's it for the football front. We'll take a timeout. We'll continue with more of Nutmeg Sports, getting the week started on a Monday. We come right back after this on the HAN Network.
Darien Sports Shop is a unique store because it's a family store. A busy mom can come in with kids in tow and find everything she needs for them, and even find a dress for herself for Saturday night. And if she's in a rush, she can simply go home and order it from us that night. We'll deliver it the next day. The Darien Sports Shop. We're pretty on the outside and amazing on the inside. Conveniently located with free and easy parking at 1127 Post Road, Darien, Connecticut. Or shop us online at dariensport.com.
It's time to come back to hometown banking, where people are taken into account, not just balances, where community comes first. A place where there's more than one kind of interest. Where automation will never replace consideration. Where they not only know your name, they know your dog's name too. It's time to expect more. It's time to bank well. Bank smart. Bank local. Bank well.
In Pound Ridge since 1993, the Wine Connection is one of America's best wine shops. Visit our beautiful store for the greatest in wine and knowledgeable service. With wonderful values from around the world to collectibles for your cellar, we are your one-stop source. Visit our online shop at wineconn.com and make sure to sign up for email updates. With great offers, new arrivals, and special events, don't miss all the action at The Wine Connection, including tastings every weekend. The Wine Connection, located at 32 Westchester Avenue, Pound Ridge, New York.
You are watching the HAN Network, and you're not alone. 102,000 viewers have enjoyed the HAN Network in just the last 6 weeks. Advertise on the network that reaches Fairfield County, Connecticut's most engaged audience. Contact Jessica Murrin, Advertising Director, at 203-273-7312 or email jessica@han.network.
Welcome back to Nutmeg Sports, a Monday edition here on the HAN Network with Donald Eng, AJ Simonowski running the controls. I'm Rob Adams. All right, to the HAN Network FCAC Male Athlete of the Week nominees, and you can vote for all of this, male and female, at live.han.network. First up, the men. We start with Michael McArdle, who had both of the goals as the Falcons won their second straight FCAC title with a 2-1 victory over Danbury. That a game, of course, you saw right here on the HAN Network. And McArdle walked away with the FCAC Championship game MVP plaque. Don.
Our next nominee is the aforementioned Michael Collins, New Canaan quarterback. He had an historic night, tying a state record by throwing 9 touchdown passes to 8 different receivers in New Canaan's 69-26 rout of Trumbull. Collins threw his 9 touchdown passes on 18 completions, 18 of 29, 483 yards, the second most in program history. His 9 touchdown passes also broke the previous record of 7 for the school, set by Kurt Horton back in 1970. Collins now has 41 touchdown passes in 7 games this fall. The Rams are 7-0.
All right, to Eric Vanderels, the Brian McMahon cross-country runner. He captured the State Open title with a run of 15 minutes and 47 seconds at the 5,000 meter, you get the idea, the 5K meter course at Wickham Park in Manchester on November 6th. The Yukon-bound standout is McMahon's first ever State Open champ. He is a senior. He placed 6th in the Open as a sophomore, but his time this year was 8 seconds better than Ridgefield's Gabriel Alltop, who also topped in the FCAC, and I'm not trying to say top twice to be funny. Vanderels previously won the program's first individual title, and that was back on October 21st at the FCAC Championship.
All right, our next nominee is Ethan Berger. Staples High running back ran for 167 yards and a touchdown to lead the Wreckers to a 28-20 road win over St. Joseph in an FCAC matchup featuring a pair of 5-1 teams this past Saturday. Berger's 25-yard run in the second quarter broke a 7-7 tie, and his 30 carries in the game allowed Staples to control the ball. Staples will play at Darien this Saturday in a game you can watch right here on the HAN Network.
Next up is Ethan Berger from Staples High School. He ran for 167 yards. Did you just do that? Sorry,
did.
Don. My bad. I meant to go to Luke Beanstock. Luke Beanstock of Greenwich Football is up next. He rushed for 241 yards and 3 scores. He had 2 huge kickoff returns. See, and I was trying to avoid the Greenwich story. That's what it was. The Cardinals take care of Norwalk 33-28. Great job by Beanstock, who has been a solid force in the backfield for Greenwich this year. Trailing 14-12, Greenwich was. Beanstock returned the second half kickoff, 66 yards to set up the go-ahead score. And Beanstock did it all over again, returning the ensuing kickoff 83 yards, 3 touchdown runs, 8, 7, and 16 yards. Luke Beanstock of Greenwich.
Right, and finally, there's Tyren McCray, Danbury football jack of all trades. The senior scored 3 touchdowns as the Hatters scored on their first victory of the season, 33-27 over Brian McMahon. McCray scored on an 80-yard touchdown run and a 60-yard punt return, and then had a 5-yard run for his 3rd touchdown. So Tyren McCray, Danbury running back, is your final nominee on the boys' side.
Tyron McRae. No, I'm just kidding. Let's go to the female athletes of the week on the HAN Network. These are the HAN Network FCAC Female Athlete of the Week nominees. We start with Rachel Burston of West Hill Diving. She made history as she captured her 4th consecutive FCAC Diving Championship last week at her own home pool. The senior scored a league record 505 points on 11 dives, breaking the old mark of 482, which she set last season. She was a runaway winner as Greenwich's Kate Russick was second with a score of 390-690.
Our next nominee is New Canaan swimmer Megan Egan. Egan had a big night as the New Canaan Rams won their first FCAC championship since 2011 Thursday at the Greenwich High School pool. A senior, Egan played a part in all 3 of the Rams' race wins, including a first-place finish in 51.62 in the 100 freestyle. She also helped lead New Canaan to wins in the 200 freestyle and the 400 freestyle relays, both in FCAC championship meet record times.
Marcy McGuire of Ridgefield is our next nominee. She's also a swimmer, and she earned the Most Outstanding Swimmer award and set 2 meet records at the FCAC Championship. McGuire is a junior, and she won the 100 backstroke in 54.48, the 200 freestyle in 150.07. That set a new record along with the 100 backstroke. She was also part of the Tigers winning 200 medley relay, which set a meet record of 146.55. They scored 285 points as a team. They finished as the runner-up behind New Canaan. New Canaan, the Rams, had 314.
Fairfield-Ludlow sophomore swimmer Sarah Grinnells picked up 2 gold medals and set a new FCAC Finals meet record in the 50 freestyle during the conference championships. The Falcon finished in the 50 free in 22.97 seconds, breaking the old mark of 23.55 set last year by Katie Caldwell of New Canaan. After winning the sprint race, Grinnells then won the 500 freestyle by more than 8 seconds, finishing in 4 minutes, 58.15 seconds. Versatile Sarah Grinnells of Fairfield-Ludlow.
We get a lot of nominees on the ladies' side this week. Julia Middlebrook of Ridgefield Soccer is another nominee. She earned the MVP honors for her performance in Ridgefield's 2-0 upset victory over previously unbeaten St. Joseph. The junior goalie was outstanding. Her best stop came in the first half when she dove to her left to deny a shot from the All-American Jenna Bike of St. Joe's. Julia Middlebrook of Ridgefield.
Georgia Cassidy, Darien Field Hockey, scored the only goal as the unbeaten Blue Wave edged Wilton 1-0 in the FCAC championship game. 2 days earlier, she provided the game-winning goal in Darien's 2-1 semifinal win over New Canaan, scoring the game winner with just under 2 minutes to play. Georgia Cassidy, Darien Field Hockey.
We mentioned Alice Nelson earlier in this broadcast, the Ludlow volleyball player named MVP of the FCAC. You know all about her by now, I think, as they knocked off Darien 3-1 for the championship on Saturday. 25 digs to lead the strong defensive effort with 9 service points and 2 aces.
And her teammate Kylie McCaffrey is also a nominee. The Ludlow volleyball player had 17 kills and 15 digs to go along with 9 service points and 2 aces as Ludlow won the FCAC title with a 3-1 over Darien. Ludlow, the Mustangs, I think the Falcons, improved to 17-4 with the victory, and they go on to the state playoffs now.
All right, and last but not least, Eric Vanderel's on. Got to have Hannah DeBalzi on as well. The Staples senior won the State Open Girls Cross Country Championship on November 6th at Wickham Park, capping off one of the most dominating careers in state history. It was the 3rd State Open win for Hannah DeBalzi, who holds the top 5 times at Wickham Park since the course was changed in 2008. She completed the course in 1803. Tollins Catherine DeLoretto was second in 1901. DeBalzi is committed to run for Stanford, also a 3-time Class LL and FCAC champ. She'll compete in the New England meet on November 14th in Vermont. Do I dare ask if you have a vote on either side, Don?
Let's see. I'm trying to think. I'd be I'm hard-pressed not to vote for Hannah DeBalzi. I mean, you win a 5K race by almost a full minute.
That's a good point.
That is a, that's a blowout. That's a, on the football side, I mean, on the boys' side, that's tougher. I mean, it's
really.
Yeah, I mean, I mean, the obvious choice would be Collins. So I probably would put my vote there for him, but it's just it's hard with the different sports, the different performances. But yeah, I suppose I'd have to bite the bullet and vote Michael Collins. You have a career night like that.
I think so. I think I'd have to go with Collins. And I wonder if I wouldn't go with Julia Middlebrook. Really impressed with how she played and how she conducted herself. Although, again, Alice Nelson and Kylie McCaffrey were so good. Georgia Cassidy. Boy, I find the ladies' side tougher.
It's always it's very compelling, and what you've noticed, you've seen that a lot when we read the results on Fridays or Saturdays. Is that there's almost always more votes cast on the girls' side than on the boys' side, and primarily because it's very compelling, very close. It's just like a hair's difference between these athletes. And
in the past couple of weeks alone, right here on the HAN Network, we have talked with DeBalsi, Nelson, McCaffrey, Cassidy, Middlebrook, and Megan Egan. That's pretty good.
Not bad.
So it's hard to really figure out who to pick from all of them. Let's see if we have any early results here. I will let you know. If I had a drum roll available, I'd give it to you. Hang with us, folks. The early results are... A.J. Simonowski waiting patiently. All right, the early results, and there are only a handful of votes in. Right now, Michael Collins does have the lead, very slightly on top of Michael McCardle. On the girls' side, it's all Julia Middlebrook all the time right now. She has a lead that is 32 votes on top of anyone else. But again, just a small number of votes reporting early on. So there you go.
1% of the precincts reporting. We're
pretty much
too soon to make a call.
Pretty much. But Kate and Josh will be here for the full election coverage tomorrow night. No, I'm kidding. Quickly, because we've covered so much here, let's run through the state schedule, at least for today, to get you set up for tomorrow, and then we'll go from there.
Okay, well, today we have girls Class LL soccer. Today, number 2, Ward, and number 6, Ridgefield have first-round byes. Number 17 seeded Staples will play at number 16, Darien. That's today at 2 o'clock. Number 25, Cheshire, will travel to number 8, Greenwich. That's all these games. That's also at 2. Number 3, New Canaan at number 10, Amity. That at 2. Number 22, E.O. Smith at number 11, Ludlow at 3 o'clock. West Hill at number 15, Wilton at 4. Trumbull at number 14, Hall is at 4. And then the second-round games begin on Wednesday.
As for Class L girls soccer, not much to talk about there. Number 1, St. Joseph has a first-round bye, but I'll stay with it and go right into Class LL volleyball, the first round, with Darien and McMahon having first-round byes, while Hall is at Ludlow, Staples at Shelton, Trumbull hosting Newtown, Stamford at Ward, and Central is at Greenwich. Busy time.
Busy time. Class M volleyball, not a lot, but number 20 Suffield at number 13 St. Joseph today at 6, and that is actually the only Class M volleyball game involving FCIAC or regional schools.
So we'll go through all of it, and we'll go through all the scores tomorrow. We'll get you caught up. We'll spend a little more time, Don, on the state brackets and all tomorrow, as we've run a hair long on today's show. And we'll continue right on through to Wednesday as the states roll right on.
Lots to talk about.
Lots to talk about indeed. Don and I will have it covered all week. So that will do it for this edition of Nutmeg Sports. Thanks for joining us on this Monday. Thanks to A.J. Simonowski for keeping our sanity on the other side of the controls. For Donald Eng and our entire HAN Network crew, I'm Rob Adams. Enjoy your day. We'll see you tomorrow. Coffee break. We'll get it started at 11 o'clock. But for now, thanks for watching Nutmeg Sports. So long, everyone.
When you experience a sports injury, you want to get better and fast. Coastal Ortho Express gives you direct access to orthopedic care quickly. Their physicians are fellowship trained in sports medicine at world-class universities and are also team doctors for area football teams. For specialized personal care of sports injuries, go to Coastal Ortho Express, open Monday through Saturday in the iPark building, 761 Main Avenue in Norwalk, or coastalorthoexpress.com. Coastal Orthopedics, keeping you on the move.
Back to school means back to busy, and Stewart's Market can save you precious time by stocking all of your favorite essentials under one roof. For a healthy start to school, we have all the ingredients. Walter Stewart's, your family-owned fresh local market, 229 Elm Street and at stewartsmarket.com.
Do you do a lot of running around but get nowhere when you're buying a car? Visit Pamby Chrysler Jeep Dodge and Ram for the one-stop buying experience and stop spinning your wheels.
Football University, the nation's leading football training experience, is now accepting applications for its 2015 camps. Our elite faculty of NFL coaches and top professionals teach position-specific on the field and in the classroom to improve your football IQ and help you reach your full potential as a player. Apply today at footballuniversity.org. Football University, where technique plus talent beats talent alone.